Morning, folks. It's Jim Denham. It's a good Sunday morning to you. I just wanted to share a couple of things in the new Luminar that I've come to appreciate. This is an image I took Friday morning over in Reelfoot. I really like the natural framing and the contrast in the framing too. Not only do we have trees on either side with this brush here, but the brush has a noticeably warmer color than anything else in the scene. And then we've got this ice out here, and then the one lone tree, cypress tree out here in the middle that's kind of being framed by everything. I really like this shot. It didn't need a lot. I've already been in Lightroom and I've got a nice even exposure here and did some lens correction, but otherwise I just loaded it over to Luminar here, and I wanted to show you a couple things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load a new filter, which is the coolest filter there is. It's called the Accent AI, or the uh, artificial intelligence, I believe is what they call it. Now, just watch the image. Now, like I said, the image doesn't need a lot, but it's pretty cool how this filter knows what it needs, and it really brings out some detail. Love how it brings the color out in the front here, how it contrasts. Even though they brought out, it brought out a lot of the detail in these trees, it still contrasts nicely with the trees. And then we've also got the detail in the ice. The sky has darkened down. It looks really cool, and we can see that change right here. It's a little flat, and now there you go with just one filter. That's pretty amazing, actually. Then there's one other thing I want to do. If you can see, man, if I had realized what kind of shape my sensor was in before I left Friday morning, I would have cleaned it Thursday night, but I did not. So I've got this really nasty little cleanup I need to make here. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. Let's move it over here. Here you go. You can see it right here. Now, their erase tool I'm not real impressed with, but one tool that I really like is the clone and stamp tool. Now, this is a little bit different. I kind of stumbled across this and how I used it, and I thought it worked tremendously well. So it may not work in every instance, but I'm going to give it a try. And what I like is I like the softness of this to be around 45%. In other words, you can see that there's a circle inside a circle in my brush. I want that brush to be close to the outside, to where there's just a little bit of softness to it, and most of it is the 100% opacity. Okay, so I'm going to hold Option down, or Alt down, to click where I want to check right there. And I'm just going to walk over here and slide it down. Now look at that. Can't even tell it was there now. I mean, it's just fantastic. I really, really like this tool. And it's quicker than the erase tool too, which works even better. So all I gotta do is hit done, and it will process that. And then once that's finished processing, which will take it a minute, because it takes it to a totally different screen to do the tools. So it'll take it a minute to push it back into the regular Luminar workspace. And it's still processing. We'll give it a minute. You can see this is the first time in a while that the Reelfoot Lake was frozen all the way across. There was people actually out here about half a mile into this lake, just wandering out on the ice, playing out on the ice. It was a little bit scary, but otherwise it was pretty cool. The lake itself is only averages 5 foot in depth, so even if they went through the ice, you're not talking about them going through very far, but still, you wouldn't have wanted them to do that. So here we go. This is the before and after. Before, after. All right, and then I'm going to add one more layer, new adjustment layer, and then what I'm going to do is add another filter, and I want to convert this to black and white. The color looks nice, but I really like the black and white. And then I'm going to put a red filter on it, which will give it just a little bit more contrast here. And then I'm going to take the blacks and black, and run that down just a little ways, because I really like deep blacks. And then run the whites up just a little bit to give more contrast. I really like that look. I think it's fantastic, and the detail is really, really good. So there's the before, here's the after. I think we got a really nice moody image here. It could have stayed color and that would have been fine, but I really like this. So um, yeah, that's it. I might do one more thing. Let me add a vignette. I'm a big fan of vignettes in my images, and what I'll typically do is I'll start off and go darker than I would normally go, and then also increase the size of it to where it's centered, but then decrease the roundness to where it's really the edges that I'm darkening, and then run a feather on it, and then you can see it without, and there's with it. It just darkens the edges just a little bit, brings you more toward the center of the image. Well, that's it. I'm going to send this back over to Lightroom and just do a couple other things, but wanted to share those. Just a quick clone and stamp, the AI filter, and a black and white conversion and vignette in Luminar, and I have a pretty much finished image. So pretty good piece of software and some pretty cool tools. So I'm going to hit apply and head back, and I appreciate you watching. Talk to you later.